Rematch, baby. Rematch, baby. Are we going to see it again, guys?
Yes.
We're going to see a rematch?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Nonito, we have a question for Fight News Asia. What are your predictions for Saturday's fight between Inoue and Michael Hot and Spicy Dasmarinas?
Well, like anything can happen in fighting, right? In boxing, like when they put me with their chin in the first time, no one gave me an opportunity at all, you know. And there's always that possibility of things happening, you know. It's just not being underestimated, or just have something to prove, and all of that stuff can put into perspective. But anything can happen. I believe that anything can happen because of the fact that you have a hungry guy coming into the fight, and of course you also have a guy who wants to prove that he's the best in the division.
If Inoue wins, is there a fight between you and Inoue?
I think that we, as you can see here, you know, he wants to grab my belt. I want to grab his belt. You know, we are good friends, and I always respect him. You know, and that's the difference between me and him. Is that, I mean, the connection between me and him is that we have greater respect for each other, but we do want each other's belt. And of course, I think that's a big possibility.
Just in case Dasmarinas wins, what do you think about that?
Well, you know, and I said this, you know, if I was fighting in the past, maybe like 10 years ago, I would not go against a Filipino fighter. But now my goal is to become undisputed, and whoever's in that way, not because they're my target, but because they hold the belt that I'm looking for. So there is that possibility of fighting another Filipino in the horizon, if that's the case.
Nonito, if we ever do see that great rematch, what can you do better that you didn't do in the first fight? What can you improve on?
I think the biggest improvement is just having somebody remind me in my corner what I need to do. You know, I go into the fight thinking of brawling and just getting into a rugged match like I did with Inoue. But I think that this time around I have somebody to remind me of my game plan, what I'm good at. You know, my speed, power, instead of just going in there and brawling, because, you know, throughout the time being on top, I relied on the power too much, and it was easier. I didn't have to think too much. And so now that I have my wife, my coach in a corner to remind me what I need to do, I think it's a different story.
Because, you know, Inoue, speaking with some of these Japanese reporters earlier, he said he felt that you're the same fighter he fought the first time around. It was more the opponent you faced. But do you disagree with that? He'd be getting a better Nonito Donaire a second time around?
Well, he doesn't really understand what we went through and what we went, you know. You're always going to expect if he expect the same guy going to the second fight, then he has a rude awakening, or he has a wall to carry, to break, you know, because I'm just not the same guy. I'm just not the same guy. I'm more motivated. At the same time, I'm more disciplined. But ultimately, I have a secret weapon to kind of remind me where I need to be.
What's the secret weapon?
The yes, dear. You know, my wife has been really tremendous for me. You know, I've always just felt like, you know, like every man, sometimes you're like, yeah. But her perception, her understanding, and because I'm with her all the time, talking about strategy, talking about it in the gym, talking about it at the house. So when I was in the fight, every time I want to get into a brawl, boom, she tells me to go back into what I need to do in strategizing, and I go back into it. And that's why I didn't really get hit that much in the last fight, because I didn't want to just brawl. I used my strategy that we worked on, because she constantly reminded me to do that. So that's power for me.
What was his punching power like? You know, he's known as one of the great punchers pound for pound in the sport. What did you think of it?
I have to be honest. I think I hit harder. You know?
Well, I mean, you've knocked featherweights out.
But I mean, I have to say that he is a tremendous puncher. You know, but I do have a tremendous chin. Do I want to test my chin? Not really. you know. But I do know that I am a tremendous puncher as well. I can knock guys out in I can knock guys out in one punch, and I think that giving the right gloves next time, I think will definitely be the key factor for the fight.
What did you feel, Nonito, as a guy, you know, future Hall of Famer, first ballot, that is special about him? And was he, you know, pound for pound the best fighter you felt like you ever shared the ring with? And what does make Inoue special?
Because he fights like me. You know, he's smart like me. He has good speed, he has good power. He's an overall guy, and that's what makes him very special. You know, and not only that, he's tremendously tough. You know, there's a lot of guys who have all the talent, all that stuff, but the moment you hit them, they go down. I hit him and it broke his orbital. You know,
the same thing that made Saunders retire on the stool, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know if I hit as hard as Canelo, of course, but the point of the matter is, you know, not to take away anything from fighters, right? But Inoue had a mountain in his shoulder because he was in his country, and he can't just fall down in front of everybody knowing that there's a possibility of that. And that's what you got to give credit to Inoue, because he carried that mountain over his shoulder and never let go of it.
And Nonito, what's this been like for you along with Rachel, you know, in the corner? And you know, let's be real. You know, people knew you were headed to the Hall of Fame, but they wrote you off. They thought performances like you had against Ubali probably not going to happen again. So, but here you are, you know, adding to what's been an amazing career. What's it feel like to get to the other side of those struggles now, and now you're back on top?
Well, you know, I just don't really put it into perspective. All I am doing right now is to keep stepping on, and how can I get better? Right now I'm back in the gym already. You know, how can I get better? What did I not do or could improve on that I did in that fight that could be improved for the next one? And then going back into all the other fights that I lack in discipline, where can I start to be more disciplined in my fighting and creating more strategy and following through? But that's what got me there, you know, and I welcome all criticism or all opinion, and I'm just here doing my thing, you know, whatever it is. If it proves them wrong, then it proves them wrong. For me, I know exactly what I need to do, and I'm confident in that, and that's winning.
Do you knock him out in a rematch?
Yes. He's gonna try to do the same to me, but you know, I've always told everybody this. I don't just go for the win. You know, like I told the Ubali, you know, I don't just go for the win. It's not to disrespect a fighter. It's just that the most satisfying victory for me is a knockout victory. You know, that's just how I am. If I don't have the resolve in my mind that I'm gonna win by a decision, then I'm lacking the determination. Then I'm lacking the motivation to win. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna knock everybody out, whoever comes into that ring, even her.
She looked pretty good on the mitts, Nonito.
I know.
That being said, now I'm putting on my manager hat, not my trainer hat. We have a huge announcement that'll be announced on Saturday, so we can't say anything about it, but it's really
Is it Casimiro?
exciting. I don't know. I mean, it's just, we are sitting on negotiations and working things out, and I think everything will be done by Saturday, so we'll have a big announcement.
Just a journey to my goal and desire and dreams of in boxing at the moment.
Could you let us know Saturday then, Rachel?
Yes.
We'll be there at the Inoue fight, so we'll be right in front of you guys, and I'm sure you guys, as soon as we enter the arena, you guys will be like, okay, so what's the announcement? So.